All right, welcome to another video from the chart reader. So today we are going to look at energy and oil. What are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to look at the daily and the weekly. We have our 5 moving averages, these horizontal support and resistance lines that I do manually draw myself. And then when we're done up here, we will use the MACD, RSI, and then you'll see I have added volume, okay? And with the volume, we get a free 50-day average line. So over the last 50 days, this is what volumes look like, right? So we'll start talking about that. Again, though I added this, 80% of the work is still up here, and then this is still 20, right? It really all starts up here. So the last time I made this video was the 26th. I think it was this day, right? 25th. Okay, yeah, so the weekend before. And I was getting very, very, very excited, right? Again, I don't want oil stocks to do bad. Don't get me wrong. I don't bash stocks, right? I have zero emotional investment to any of these 3 or 4 letter tickers. I swear, right? But when something like this comes around, I start to get very excited because, again, I stopped zooming out, but look how long it's been since we've been remotely close, let alone over the purple line. Okay, it's all the way back to 2000. Okay, so this purple line on the daily, it means a lot, right? And again, you can see where this line came from because it's the peak of that bad boy. You can see where this line came from because it's the peak of that bad boy. But all I'm really looking at right now is this purple line, okay? And look, the last time I made the video, I was excited because it looked like we were close. It looked really nice. I just wanted good confirmation, right? This isn't great confirmation because, again, it started up here. People were, they were as excited as I was. And then it just kind of reality hit that, you know what? The 200 isn't that easy to break. Then you gap down and you start to fall to the bottom of the channel, right? And again, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're just in a tight cluster. The last 3 days, however, look at what happens, right? I always talk about this. When you're in a cluster, almost anything can happen. I don't like my money in a cluster because it's like a tornado. You never know which way the thing's going to spit you out. And look, 1, 2, 3, 4, and how close are we to the 200? 200's at 25.66. We closed at 25.66. We broke all 4 and are sitting to the penny on number 5. Look again. If this thing opens above, and we're gonna do it right now, right? I want that alert, right? You set the alert. Cross that line. And look, we're down here, right? I'm okay giving up that little profit. I don't need to know once we're over that. Get me over here. That'll be good to know. You know what I mean? But if we crack this, number 1, be careful with your oil stocks. Number 2, don't feel like you're a short or whatever. Oh, dude, 3 letters that look good. That's what technical analysis is about. You take your emotion out, you let the things tell you what they tell you and go from there. Now look, I have to stress this. I need monster confirmation tomorrow. Okay, I like that we're above the 50. That's awesome. We're getting more people bought today more than they have over the last 50 days, right? That's good. Okay, I like seeing that. However, if you're going to break all 4 lines, I need a gap up and start here. I need monster confirmation. Otherwise, I'm just assuming that this is getting tighter and tighter and we're not out of the cluster just yet. But look how long I have to zoom out. One last time. You know I don't like zooming out much. This has been the white whale, right? This is our Moby Dick right here. And hey, if we can cross that thing, you better believe. And you know I like the oil stocks. I hope you can tell that, right? But I don't care about them enough to ignore this, right? That's the point of this. So, I'll be honest. I think what I want to do is move this line up to here because this is now our most immediate peak. And I did set the alert on the other one. So my alert's still here. But, I think I need to adjust that. Because, again, this one's far out. And don't get me wrong, it was obviously really important, right? We wicked on it. I guess I'll keep it. Because, again, I also have my alert. I got to If I wake up and I see this, I don't want that line to go away and wonder why I got rid of that. So, okay, sorry, I'm talking to myself. We'll leave that, but I am adding this for the top of this because, again, that's our most recent peak, and it'll obviously get us over the 200. What does the weekly look like real quick? I mean, look at this thing, right? So, look. It wanted to break both lines. It gapped up, but that is not a good confirmation. That's a doji. Definitely lost both. And you know what? We're starting above both right now, right? Still early in the week, so a lot can still happen, right? There's 4 more days that can maybe even bring us down here. But this daily looks good. Where is this 50 at? 29.46. Let me just see where 29.46 sits with us. It's somewhere in this, and that's a gap up anyways. I don't need a new line. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is SCO. I would be very cautious if I had money in oil stocks. OXY, again, I think the strength of SCO really shines right here, right? And again, you can see it. Obviously, you didn't even need to look at that, right? Once this happened, we're starting to trade under the 8. That's all you're doing, right? This is a death cross right here, right? Why? Because now we're under the line. You know how hard it is to gain these, right? We don't want to lose these. That's horrible. We lost 3 lines, and look, we never got over the 8, so it's not like we really lost this one necessarily, but yeah, it looked like it wanted to stop on the 50, right? Hopefully it would have bounced up. We get a doji, so there's a little bit of hope. Hey, maybe we'll uptrend up. Instead, not only do we fail this, we go under that, right? I'm very much worried. That's a very ugly MACD that's now in the negative. It's not a good RSI, right? It's not. It's also a little tight, but even the tight one is downtrending, right? You can see it downtrending. So I very realistically believe this is coming down to the 200 at this point, right? SCO, again, the strength of SCO cannot be ignored. And look, again, still early in the week. However, if you lose the 20, you're more than likely coming down to the 50, right? We've seen it a number of times. That's why I like these 5. You beat one, you go to the next one. But once you lose one, you're going down back below, right? That's how this works. So OXY not looking good, and I can only imagine what the rest will start to look like. Not INDO. Sorry about that. Okay, again, this one, I'm not here to give you financial advice, right? I will never tell you to buy. I will never tell you to sell. I try to make sure you don't even know what I have my money in, right? Because again, I'm trying to be as neutral and educational as I can, right? This horizontal cluster lost right here. There should have been absolutely no reason why you were still anywhere in this, right? Again, I'm not here to tell you what to do. If you're a long-term trader, obviously you put your fingers over your ears too, right? I mean, don't worry about the noise of day-to-day if you're long. However, if you're a swing trader like I am, an intraday trader, whatever, if you're a short-term trader, there were plenty of signs to get out of this before this 7% drop. A 7% drop in a day is horrible. Just don't ignore that, right? So where are we? I mean, I have to imagine we're getting close to... No, we're not. All right, we're not that close to all-time lows, but yeah, I mean, I'm worried, right? Look, we're under the 8 on the weekly. It seems like this wants to keep going down. Look at the volume. I mean, volume's pathetic on the weekly, right? People have forgotten about INDO. Look at this thing. I didn't even notice it on the daily, but the last 50 days, people were buying almost 1 million shares. We're down 70% of that. Roughly, you can even say 66. We're definitely down 2/3, right? From 9 something to 3 something, right? Low. I mean, that's not good. So again, INDO, there was plenty of room for you to get out. And look, even this thing, a little horizontal before another drop, right? These horizontal movements before drops are not, pretend things, right? So CEI, I think we need some lines. Oh yeah, we for sure need some new lines. All right, where are we? Look, again, this thing had a couple monster pops, right? You can see one here, you can see one here, crazy wick here. Really, even since the last video I made, and believe me, I was surprised by them, right? You can see this thing flew from 10 cents to 12 cents is a 20% wick. Someone bought up here and then it dropped down here, losing 20% in a day. That sucks. Okay, don't let these intraday, anomalies. I don't want to say anomaly. It's a mean word, right? But don't let interday noise mess you up from our day and week view. Just remember that, right? But look, I don't have to say too much on this. All we're doing is failing the 20 and consistently staying under the 8, right? Eventually we'll get over the 8, believe me. But look, this thing, I know 19 cents sounds super cheap. I know 16 cents sounds super cheap. I know 13 cents sounds super cheap. I know 10 cents sounds super cheap. I'm telling you, we'll say the same thing around 7, right? Once we lose that line, and it kind of looks like we might have already, yeah, we're under it. We're falling into all-time lows. And man, look at this thing. I believe me, I see it used to be up here, right? But that's not the game we're at. We're down here, right? And yeah, we're about to lose this bad boy. And again, 7 cents will definitely say this is a good deal, right? So just be smart with your money, right? I'm not here to tell you what to do with it, how to spend it, but get over the 8. It's not a bad trading strategy, right? There's plenty of them out there. I wish you the best. IMPP, one more time. Again, just like INDO. It was tight, it fell. It just kept going under the 8. Again, a good intraday thing, I get you. However, close over the 8 is a lot harder to do than a quick run up midday and a quick drop. That's just controlled by a few people with money, really, right? That's where pump and dumps come from, right? This kind of saves you a little bit from a pump and dump. Obviously, you've seen me get fooled too, right? Nothing's guaranteed, nothing's set in stone, blah, blah, blah. But get over the 8. If you can't get over the 8, what are you expecting, right? Break up from a horizontal cluster. If you break down, it's going to be hard to get back. And look, once you're under 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, you got to know it's going to be really hard to get back over those 4 lines, right? So again, there were plenty of times to get out of this, right? So be careful here. And really, I like to look at INDO when I look at IMPP. I feel like the two do move together a lot. HUSA, this one was added recently. So where are we? Look, I said this on the last video. I don't like trading in horizontal clusters. It's like a tornado. It really is, right? You go up and down, up and down. It's just literally spinning you around, throwing you around from wall to wall. And when it's ready, it's going to spit you out with force, either up or down. This is scary. We lost a bunch of lines. We're now on the bottom of it. I need big confirmation down and it'll say that, yeah, this is actually going down, or we'll just kind of fall back, right? But this is now getting pretty tight. So, I mean, at this point, it's a little, it's worrisome. It really is, you know, and there was a nice little uptrend. I get it, but if we lose this cluster, that could get really bad. And look, SCO, again, the strength of SCO cannot be ignored. Look, I think this is a good, you cannot go lower than 375 this week. All right. If you are in HUSA, 375 might be a decent eject point yeah, this is not financial advice, but again, be careful. UEC, so getting out of oil, moving into energy, right? So SCO doesn't really touch these too much. But again, oil controls the world, so just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Man, what is this? This is a horizontal cluster that we are falling out of. I hope the repetition sinks in, because I promise you it's for a reason, right? So bad MACD, bad RSI. Yeah, there's more volume, but there's actually more selling. People are selling a lot, okay? No one has wanted to buy, you know, this was the last kind of good point. This is where we kind of thought that those 420 days were coming. But yeah, people are moving for sure, a lot of shares, but it is a lot of bad shares that they're selling. So be careful here, right? It looks like we've fallen out of the cluster on the weekly too. So getting very worrisome. GEVO, coming out to GEVO again. Look at this. These are all in clusters, and it just seems like they're losing. Real bad day. Obviously, Nasdaq was a rough day, so Nasdaq's going to kind of carry GEVO, LIACF a little bit, right? Even UEC, like uranium. There's not a lot of Dow Jones companies that need uranium, right? So that's definitely going to be a heavy tech thing, in my opinion, right? Commodities are kind of differently traded, but that's just my opinion on that. But yeah, GEVO not looking too good here on the daily. Again, ugly MACD, ugly RSI, just like we saw with UEC. Yeah, we're over the last 50, but there's definitely a lot of selling is what's happening. It's not buying, right? So that is not good. We do not want that. And again, I'm now worried we've lost this cluster of 3. And I mean, yeah, I got to draw a line right here, really, right there. Okay, let's come to LIACF. LIACF, okay, where are we? Again, it's a tight cluster. It's 3, right? This one, again, this one doesn't have the best volume, right? So you can see it's already in the low, we'll call it low 200s, right? You want to be near the millions. It makes it a little easier to like play technical analysis. But yeah, the low volume, the bad MACD, bad RSI, bad NASDAQ, I'm a little worried here, right? There hasn't been too much positivity here. Yeah, relatively shortly, actually. So yeah, just not good when you lose the cluster. So from there, 1 second, we will go to TMC. Okay, last on the list, and definitely, again, not a good one, right? Real ugly RSI. You know I like the RSI, and yeah, I know that this has been a little tight, but there was moments, and then I don't like this RSI. Again, no one's really moving volume here. Definitely under the lines. I'm worried here, right? Not a lot of positivity here. And look, horrible, horrible, horrible weekly. So there's a lot of reason not to be under this. And look, I've talked about this. We are near all-time lows, right? So once we lose a couple, I mean, I can make one more line just to make it. But yeah, we're, again, pennies away from all-time lows. So be careful, okay? Be very, very careful here. All right, I hope you're learning. Have a great one.